Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Coach Mike is here, and as you can probably see by his face, we're in the gi. So we're just going to talk about, we just had a gi roll, which we decided to do just because we don't do it very often, as you probably know if you watch the channel. So just to change up the feel of the rolls and to give everyone sort of a different look as to what this might look like if the two of us versus all these no gi rolls we do, and also to maybe save the cleaning people a little bit of time afterwards. So
absolutely, yeah.
Thoughts about
yeah. So the roll, it was a lot different than it normally is. I would say we were in connection a lot more. There was a lot less break of connection than we normally have due to maybe the environment of no gi, and also naturally the gripping aspect of the gi, and that brought some thoughts of some of the differences between gi and no gi that we all talk about and stuff. And I thought it would be good to talk about how the gi can benefit you, okay? Especially if you're not looking to, obviously the gi is going to benefit you if you have aspirations of competing in the gi, then you should have a fairly heavily gi focus. But earlier on, your white belt and blue belt stages, the gi is absolutely going to help you develop technique, okay? Especially if you find yourself to be maybe more physically gifted than your average Joe or whatever. Maybe you have some wrestling experience, especially if you have some wrestling experience and things like that, because what the gi does is it kind of turns the volume down on your athleticism, and it does kind of force you to use more proper technique. Now, how does it turn the volume down on your athleticism? Well, it kind of equalizes it with your partner, all right? So you're less likely to be able to slip out of things, you're less free to move because your partner can make grips. And Jared, you made a really good point about even someone who doesn't know what they're doing, how they would become difficult. Mm-hmm. Would you like to?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you think about this as sort of a realist way to train, if you were going to get in any kind of altercation, if you're wearing clothes, even if someone has no idea what they're doing, they still probably have hands, so they can still grab onto you and create a big problem for you. If you don't address someone just grabbing on and holding you, especially if they're a bigger person than you, if you don't know how to address that, then you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. So, like Mike said, it equalizes the athleticism aspect, and I think it increases the awareness you have to have about how much someone else can grab you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say that's one of the biggest reasons, especially I really say this for people who aspire to fight MMA and people who come in with wrestling backgrounds, right? It's really gonna force you into having better technique and a better understanding of why the positions work and the way they work and things like that. Because a lot of times earlier on we get false positives, right? It's I do this, and it's just maybe your opponent's inability to react to that, which we all know those techniques that work earlier on, and then you're going to hit certain level, and it's never going to work again, right? Because it's going to have a common defensive reaction, and everybody's kind of prepared for it. So it forces you down that rabbit hole of proper technique, and you really understand these positions, a lot better when you're utilizing the gi, and then it's going to set you up for further success, long term. It speeds up your technical development.
Absolutely, and also, and additionally, before we're talking about this too, defensively, one of the primary elements of jiu-jitsu, what it's advertised as, is being able to help a smaller person or a weaker person have power against someone who is bigger or stronger or both. And the ability of someone else to grab onto your clothing could simulate, even if you didn't have the clothing on, could simulate someone who just has a really strong grip. Yes. So even if we're in no-gi and I'm against someone who we've mentioned, Bob, before. Bob's real big. I wish he was still here. We'd drag him in here. But so he's really big and very strong. So if he has a grip of my, maybe it's not my gi, it might just be my wrist, but I can't get rid of that grip because he's just too strong. That's a pretty good, even if Mike is not as big as Bob, if he grabs my sleeve and I can't get rid of it, that's the same thing, right? It's still a grip that I have to address in a technical manner rather than just being able to slip out of it or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good, pretty comprehensive for that. Yeah, so even if you hate the gi, as some of us do,
I hate it, but I will force myself to train in it sporadically. I mean, I teach it, so I think that that gives me mental reps in it as well. And I think just right now, I prefer the wildness of it.
That's fair.
That's where I have fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. And we talk. I think we did a video on that in the past. Like, probably the most important part of your training is that you are having fun, because that's what's keeping you in here. Whether you would develop at a faster rate by not having fun and being disciplined, well, what's the point if you're not going to want to do it? Then you're going to eventually top out and stop. So, that's what my fun is, so I still play.
Yeah, let's get our joy where we can get it, right? All right, well, thanks for watching. Do the liking and the subscribing. Check out the Radical Store and the podcast. Have some great guests on the podcast. We got this fine piece from this is actually from Killer B, but I give this to Mike because as a token of my esteem and my personal determination to get there myself. So thanks for watching. Thanks to the general for being on here. Hit the bell and
come down and train.
I can't talk like all about it. It doesn't matter. And then like have anything.
Yeah.
Which one do you want to do first? We gotta. Oh. That's pretty good. Talk a little bit.
A, B, C, D, we hate the G. H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P.
Okay. This is the last bit. Bring that center. Tell you what, the good knot does fucking stay. Dude, I gotta tell you what, this belt sucks.
If we stick the gauntlets for belt promotions, this would fuck people up.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Ready?